when I think about and when I was reading up about the LGBTQI rights and the lives of queer persons in Sri Lanka, of course, there were so many commonalities I could find between India and Sri Lanka, including the Supreme Court playing a fundamental role in decriminalization, going on to private member bill, which either gets addressed, doesn't get addressed, but that plays important role in activating the LGBTQI rights, especially the first step, getting rid of the colonial legislation, which has existed and haunted, to an extent, the entire region, South Asia. And in this fight, fewer politicians have shown the courage, including risking their public image and all the other important work that they do. And that's really, really commendable, and that's another commonality between India and Sri Lanka. I'm so glad to have Honorable Member of Parliament, Mr. Premnanth Dolawatte, who is here with us, a crusader and a champion for the LGBTQI rights, if I may say so, sir, in Sri Lanka. Thank you so much for all your work, and so great to have you here. May I please request you to join us on stage as the main speaker for today's event. The local audience here, people who have joined from Sri Lanka, are already familiar with Honorable Member of Parliament's biography, but I'm going to read out a little bit about the part which is most relevant for the LGBTQI plus rights in Sri Lanka and in South Asia in general. Mr. Premnanth Dolawatte is a Sri Lankan Member of Parliament and lawyer, handed over a bill to President Honorable Ranil Wickremesinghe. The bill aims to protect the rights of LGBTQI plus community by proposing amendments to the penal code in Sri Lanka. Honorable Mr. Dolawatte represents the Colombo electoral district as a member of the Sri Lanka Podujana Premuna political party. Please pardon me if I've mispronounced it, and I'll very sure that you'll correct us when you talk. In addition to his political career, he's a well-known actor in Sri Lanka. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Really great honor to have you here. Please join us on the stage, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much for inviting me here. And first of all, His Excellency, the Ambassador from New Zealand, Dr. Carsten, Honorable Yannick Shetty, young leader from Austria. We had a long chat yesterday. And Premnanth C, and all the distinguished guests, Sri Lankan parties, Aritha and my friends, Ritika, lot of there, Bhumi, everybody. I have met them for very recent times. So, and Rohan, thank you for the kind words. And ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, it is honor and privilege for me to take part in this convivial and friendly ceremony. Thank you all for having me here, and a warm thank you to the Frederick Newman Foundation for the Freedom South Asia for organizing this special event. I'm here today to talk about the important historic development that has held in Sri Lanka. As you are aware, the LGBT rights activists in Sri Lanka have been campaigning for years to change the law in the country, where homosexuality is still punishable by a prison and a fine. So, leading to the private members bill presented in the parliament last month. So, where I came into the action, actually I represent the nationalistic party in Sri Lanka, and it's quite awkward. Sometimes the activists themselves suspects why this person has come up with this LGBTQ decriminalizing bill. So that's because, as Yannick said, that because of my education. I think we can have the solution for each and every question, problem, conflict, if we have much more liberal education. So I think I'm very glad that I had that. At the same time, the true philosophy of Buddhism. So I'm practicing a very good philosophical Buddhism in my family. So I believe that our Lord Buddha said that we have to tolerate others. We have to respect others' rights. So I think that's why I presented the bill to the Parliament. It was quite a risk. It's a plunge to take, but I took that initiative. At the same time, I must thank to the President himself that he's encouraging us. And not only this, as the youngest member from the Colombo district, from the capital, as Yannick shares the youngest parliament in Austria. So actually I presented another bill for the youth quota. It's prior to the LGBTQ rights, this Decriminalization Act. Right now it's in the second reading inside the Parliament. Regarding we have to allocate a quota for youth from 18 to 35 from the local government bodies. So at the moment, I think most probably within the next 2 weeks, within this month, we can pass that law. And afterwards, I know you want to hear about your decriminalization process. So right now, I must take this opportunity to thank all the intervenient petitioners who intervene in the Supreme Court. As a lawyer, for my career, 15 years of my career, for the first time, I've become a respondent in any case because of this Supreme Court determination, this case, because normally they have to name the person who has presented the bill as a respondent. So this was my first case against me, even though I'm doing legally involving the courts. So anyhow, so I'm very glad that I had a huge support from the intervenient petitioners. So I would like to appreciate all the intervention parties to stood up side by side and to ensure strengthen the process. I think I must thank, I take this opportunity. At the same time, I'm very glad that the Supreme Court held on a very progressive determination, because I must say that I had some, when I presented the bill to the Parliament, my parents were really okay about that. They were appreciated about that. But once this case this Supreme Court matter comes up, there were a lot of rumors going on, a lot of false allegations going on. So even at that time, when the court proceedings are going on, my mother once asked me, what are you going to do? It's like, are you going to harm to the children of this country? Those kind of false allegations, they were spreading all over the news and media. But at last, I must thank to the Supreme Court. They held in a very progressive manner. It's a long determination, 48 pages of determination. So they have given a very clear, nice clearance. We can pass this Penal Code Amendment Act by simple majority. Now we are in that process. So hopefully, after having the report from the Justice Minister, as soon as possible, I am going to take, when I calculate the numbers inside the Parliament, I have to be very careful on the numbers as well. So we are looking on that, and afterwards, very soon, we are going to present the bill. So I think you are quite keen to hear about that thing. So that is right now that is where we are. And the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka has given a green light to the bill seeking to decriminalize homosexuality and support the LGBT society in Sri Lanka. This is a significant step forward, and it is a cause for celebration. I think this Pride Month, you can celebrate on that. But we have to wait till when we pass from the Parliament as well. For too long, LGBTQ individuals in Sri Lanka have faced discrimination and criminalization based on their sexual orientation and gender identity. Being an Asian country, this has been resulted in more widespread stigma, harassment, and violence against the LGBT community. The decriminalization of homosexuality is a crucial step in ending this decriminalization and ensuring that all individuals in Sri Lanka are treated equally and with respect. People around the world face violence and inequality and sometimes torture, even execution, because of who they love, how they look, or who they are. It must be taught that sexual orientation and gender identity are integral aspects of ourselves and should never lead to discrimination or abuse. Developed countries have worked to amend the laws that penalize this community and limit their rights. Likewise, Sri Lanka should speak out defense to these laws. We must also ensure that LGBTQI individuals have access to healthcare, housing, education, and development opportunities without fear of discrimination or harassment. We must provide legal support and ensure that these protections are enforced. To put an end to bigotry and discrimination, Sri Lanka should follow the examples set by supporting countries like India, UK, Canada, Germany, Australia, have made significant progress in promoting LGBTQI rights, and we can learn from their success. In conclusion, the decriminalization of homosexuality in Sri Lanka is a significant step forward for the LGBT community. This is not which I did by alone. We came long way. I must remember the late Mangala Samaravira, the late leaders who supported us. I had to thank all these late leaders whoever took the initiative to write these LGBTQ rights. But I think decriminalization is just a beginning. We have to go furthermore. We have to go a long way. We must take progressive steps to support, protect, and fulfill these challenging rights. We must work together in discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. We must stay engaged. Let us keep voicing our concerns. Let us keep finding new allies, sharing good practice, and standing fast alongside local human rights defenders on the front lines of this struggle. We advocate for laws and the policies that will protect everyone's dignity, ensure one's freedom, and to decide on one's own sexual orientation. Only then we can create more inclusive and equitable society for all Sri Lankans. So I would like to conclude my speech, and I would like to be here for 3 days. Unfortunately, the parliamentary proceedings are going on, so I would like to be here as much as possible. Thank you very much. Thank you again to have this nice program in Sri Lanka. Thank you very much. Thank you.